Can we talk about anything?
Yeah.
Oh, well, how was yesterday?
Yesterday was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I was able to spot for the 34 car at Portland
Oh, nice.
for the NASCAR race.
I heard it was like 85 and sunny down there too.
So maybe in a sim somewhere.
Oh wait, that was a different Portland, right?
Maybe Portland, Maine. I don't know.
Right. It was a monsoon, huh?
It never really rained super hard. Like it just misted and rained all day. Which of course NASCARs aren't necessarily NASCARs themselves don't necessarily like driving in the rain.
Right.
So we had a lot of cars fly off everywhere, and drivers forget that they're in the wet, so they can't do certain things.
Right.
No, it's just like Lucky Dog.
So, by the way, that's Donna and Garrett Haxby and Dean Nail.
Nice.
Behind you.
So they'll be the background voices. They'll be the quiet voices on the recording.
You see that? He said I was quiet.
Well, you're not mic'd up, so you'll be quiet on the recording. Not necessarily you're quiet in general. Just the volume will be quiet. Well, this is Track Walk with Eric, and I'm at Pacific Raceways in the Northwest. And if you're watching the video, you can see that it's wet, like most of the year in the Northwest. I have a racer here, Joe, who likes to race CRXs and Lucky Dog.
Yes. Two of them.
Sounds like he had an unfortunate incident with one of his cars yesterday.
The driver's okay though, and that's really all that matters.
Sure. Driver's walking today.
Yeah. Matter of fact, he's walking with us today.
Very nice. So for the most part, it's just we walk, we tell stories, we look at the track, and it's like, oh, definitely don't want to hit that pothole. Don't want to drop a wheel off there.
Okay.
You know, I mean that's why when a group of people show up, I like to mic everybody, because sometimes they'll feed off each other and start telling really good stories, or jokes, or memories that may get embellished on sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, well, we're going to tell a bad memory here in just a little bit.
As we approach the track, we are coming counter-course into turn 8. Which I haven't walked the track since they repaved most of it, so.
Some of it.
Yeah.
No, I haven't walked the track since they repaved most of it.
Okay.
So the repaving of turn 2, I haven't walked it since then. And then after that, they repaved over here. And magically, the times dropped like seconds when they repaved this turn for some reason. Like, I don't know why. Maybe you could actually carry speed through it?
Yeah. You know, all the years that I've been coming here, I think this is the first time I ever walked it.
So here's a true story. We show up for the drags. We come rolling in, and they shoot us around over here, and we park back, behind the grandstands. I'm like, what's all this asphalt about? This is like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I had no idea that this was a road course.
This part right here.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Eric, don't they use this for like stage? This is staging area.
That's
right,
staging.
for the
This is all
drags?
staging for the
Yeah.
drags.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Dean has a good story once we get up here past the grandstands and where he sat for
Yeah.
the Lucas. What was it?
Is it Summer Nationals that come here?
Yeah. One of the years they sponsored, my cousin got us tickets to the booth.
Nice.
So we sat there under the announcer and drank Budweiser in the booth. My first experience of national drags.
Very nice.
And then we went outside and said, holy shit, it's loud out here. I mean, it went, and behind the glass, I mean, it's obviously thundering and shaking. You don't really get it until you're like there. It is so intense. Your whole body just shakes when these cars take off.
way over there, like on the other side
Out
there.
through that line.
So Eric, you weren't here on Friday, but you know we had to practice, and Dawn actually stopped the practice like halfway through, and was like, "Look, guys, your line through turn 9 is terrible. It's terrible, terrible." So he was actually standing out on the track right here with his, right here where the break in the thing is.
Yeah.
He was standing out on the track with his blue flag, pointing everybody
Further out, yeah.
out there, and they had all the cones up and everything for the for their track day or whatever.
Yeah.
And then after he had a little talk with everybody, they figured it out. Now this is interesting right here. They put these little
Sealer. So,
because of the seams in the asphalt.
yeah.
Okay.
So that will be really slippery in the wet.
Yeah. That's interesting.
And it looks like it's also puddles. So you're gonna have puddle and a slippery surface.
Yeah. Because I noticed when I'd run across it, you could hear the tires go.
Yeah. Nice to know they replaced the cone finally.
It's pretty bright too when we're out here. You can see it pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Can't miss that one.
And there's, I can remember they did, one of the repavings they did, or one of the first ones was to try to get rid of this bump over here. And this bump is a lot less than it used to be.
Oh. One of our drivers thought it was worse than last year.
Well, it's probably worse than last year. But when they did all this extra repair in this area, it actually made the bump a lot less.
Okay.
You would get, when I was racing here a bunch, I had an ITA car.
Yeah.
So like the slow CRX, not the SI, like the regular's 1.5 or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
1.5 with the disc rear brakes, because the drum rear brakes was ITB car.
Okay.
So, like we were catching air in this bump right here.
Yeah.
Like with slow cars, we were just coming around the corner and it would compress and we'd jump, coming down the straightaway.
Yeah, so one of the drivers was like, yeah, I think it's a lot bumpier. And I'm like, yeah, that's because we stiffened this car up a little bit. I was like, oh, okay, well that might make sense. But yeah, it's hoopy and jumpy and everything right through here. One car did not make it yesterday.
Only one?
That I saw. I don't think anybody put it in the wall.
No, I don't think so.
Everybody
Not
was
here, not
good enough here, but he did not make this, and then he
Out in the grass?
over out into the grass for a while, got it, you know, under control, and then came back onto the track.
I'm really glad the weather that says it's supposed to rain a bunch today has decided not to rain for our track walk. I like that.
I would agree.
I mean, you can already see from here some of the standing water in the kink area, where everything else looks like you can see puddles, and like you're like, okay, don't go near there at all. But like as we approach the kink, all you see is the wetness and how dangerous that is when it's actually raining.
Yeah. Now I've ran here before, and they actually would have a cone. Of course, it gets taken out all the time, but
Yeah.
you know, right there at that corner, because there's a big dip right there. They didn't have it out there.
In years past with conference when I've raced here, if it rained, they would just put a full court or a yellow basically as you exit turn 8 all the way through turn 1
When it was raining.
when it was raining.
Yeah.
So they wanted people to reduce speed and not pass, and it kind of made the track not as fun. But at the same time, you're trying to minimize how many cars crash in the
Correct.
when they have walls right here.
Yeah. So it's all about safety. And Kathy said the same thing. She's like, hey, if it, you know, starts raining too much, then she'll just basically stop the race. That's going to be it. She didn't want a bunch of cars to get eaten up. But there's not very many cars. There wasn't very many cars left yesterday.
After
when
yesterday?
we finished.
It looked like there was, last time I checked, it looked like there was like 17 cars not running at the end that started the race, took laps. which was my best guess.
Okay.
I mean, that's still more than a third of the field.
Yeah, that's a lot of attrition.
You know, if you're on the stage like this, we could go through an accident and turn safe turn. Kind of halfway serious.
What?
Dean's here.
Short race.
Well, yeah, but we can only do like 2 hours, and then we gotta come in and replace another one.
We've only got one axle.
Okay.
That's 3 hours. That's 3 axles. So
We're
we're
just gonna duct tape the crap out of it.
Yeah, so for some reason, our other
The white one?
the white one, 3 axles. They were in all right fronts.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
I get a feeling we won't go as fast today as we will.
And we're
That's
not
probably
really sure
true.
why, because we've never had that issue before.
Any setup changes from last race with that one?
Nope.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we're thinking something's out of alignment or something happened, obviously.
Yeah. Any changes? Well, I mean, it was dry most of the day yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Had the car run here in the dry in the past?
Yes, but not with. It could have been the speed, not with the current motor that's in it. So, and we were going considerably, a couple seconds faster than we normally have been here. So it could just be a combination of speed and heat and.
And it's just the boots fail and then the joint fails, or the joint just fails?
Yeah.
I think it's getting hot enough it's like cooking the grease out of it. We took one axle out yesterday and it was literally smoked for probably 10 minutes.
Ooh.
That hot.
Yeah.
And it's the outer or the inner joint? That's
Outer joint.
the outer joint?
Yeah. Well, we did break one inner, and then the other 2 were outers. So it might just be the grease boiling up. We're gonna R&D like a air ducts, like those aluminum NACA duct type things to get some air in there and get some better grease in there, right? AMSoil grease or whatever they use to.
Prolong life.
Yeah. I've also heard of people when they repack them and stuff like that, when they tighten the boot back down, they'll put like a WD-40, the
Oh yeah.
straw thing
Mhm.
to actually let it vent out heat. I don't know. We could try that too.
a little clamp a straw.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, clamp a straw in there to let it
Vent itself.
out. Yeah.
So then it won't like overpressurize or anything like that.
Right. It has some place for heat to go, I guess. We'll give it a try and see, but it was unfortunate.
Well, as we're walking through the kink, you can kind of see if you're all the way on the left, there's a puddle. If you're in the center, there's a puddle. And if you're on the right, there's a river. So you really don't have a good choice to drive through here. Because if you're right near the wall, there's a puddle over there. There's a puddle right here in the center, and then basically the water pools over here on the right. So you don't want to be over there either.
Right.
Yeah, you straddle the middle puddle there.
Right there.
It's about the only thing.
So, unless it starts raining harder and the puddle's
And
puddle,
that's the whole way.
then you have a whole puddle all the way across that you're going to hydroplane
Yeah.
in the middle of a turn,
Right. And that's normally a place where you have a little bit of
turning, wheeling it.
right? You're in the wheel a little bit right there.
Yeah.
So you just gotta straighten it out and shoot across it, and then get going again. Slow down, of course.
So in the dry, when I've raced here in medium and slow speed cars, I basically use the white line right here in the center of the track as a wall.
Oh.
I don't ever cross it in the dry in medium slow speed cars, because you don't have to. You can make turn 1
Oh yeah.
from the center of the track
Yeah.
in a medium slow speed cars.
Yeah.
So if you tracked all the way out to the wall, you're adding 20 feet that way and then 20 feet back. So you're making the track 40 feet longer.
Right.
So if your car's fast enough to not need to track all the way out there for turn 1, why track out
do
there?
it? Why do it? Well, good choice.
And if someone wants to pass you they're not going to want to go any more inside than that.
Yeah.
So that'll force them on the outside.
Go out there.
And most times in similar speed cars, you don't really want to pass on the outside unless you have a really good run, because you know it's the outside of a really high speed turn that you don't slow down for.
Right. Or you shouldn't.
Yeah, not in the dry.
Yeah.
I can remember stories of like Porsche track days where all the instructors tell all the Porsche guys, do not lift in the middle of turn 1. Slow down before or slow down after. Do not lift in the middle, because you know the whole engine in the back, and then you like fall off the flatness of the drag strip, which upsets the car.
Yeah, unloads it.
And usually Porsches will just flip around right there.
So what are all these like green dots and stuff on the track right here? Do you know?
I don't know.
Potential patching.
Nah, no need.
Exactly.
Interesting. They're like
'Cause
randomly all over the place.
I wonder if they're like start boxes for like standing starts.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for the motorcycles or something like that, maybe.
Or
yeah.
sometimes they do like a staggered Le Mans, or not Le Mans, but
Yeah.
just a.
Yeah, I bet you're right here. That would make sense since that's the start finish line, right?
Yeah. Not really sure, but it made sense because there was a couple of them staggered
Right.
in opposite sides.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they do so many events here that it's hard to know. And you have timing and control in a tent this time at Pacific, because there's no building near here. So that's all the timing.
Oh, right. So that's where Chris hangs out all
That's
day.
where Chris is all day.
All day. That's his job shack.
Usually Chris gets to be in some